Hi, my name is Jake Adams, CEO of Equifax. Thank you for joining me today. Along with me is my communication team, joined by corporate spokesperson Hannah Kolkmeyer, internal communications analyst Tamara McAllister, and media analyst Alyssa Appel. A data breach occurred between mid-May and July, and approximately 140 million consumers of Equifax were affected. Among the data that was breached and taken were social security numbers, credit card information, date of birth, and addresses. Equifax has begun working with a cybersecurity firm along with the FBI to understand the full depth of this breach and those who are responsible. Our crisis communications team has worked tirelessly to understand and construct a plan to undo the damage done to our consumers. We have set up call centers as well as compensation packages for those 140 million consumers that have been affected. Our consumers, investors, and stakeholders deserve to understand the depth of this data breach and how they are affected. I will now be turning it over to Hannah to talk about the timeline of key events.
Good evening. On August 2nd, 2017, our press team released a verbal statement notifying our customers of a possible breach discovery on July 29th and the steps we have since taken to investigate along with advice on how customers should protect themselves. On August 15, 2017, an email was sent to our CEO, Jake Adams, and he was informed of the stolen information. On August 22nd, 2017, CEO Jake Adams sent an email to the lead member of the Equifax Board of Directors, Mark Fielder, to inform him of the data breach. In the message, he detailed what happened and that we must come up with a remediation plan immediately and schedule a meeting with the rest of the board. On September 1st, 2017, Jake Adams sent an email memo to notify employees of how we will compensate customers affected by the breach. The memo dictates instructions for our employees on how to help affected customers. September 7th, 2017, today, we released a verbal informative statement this morning in front of a large media presence that is broadcasted globally, the extent of this data breach. The message is dictating the scale of the breach, how many were affected, and our plan to remedy the situation with our customers. On March 8th, 2017, we were notified by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Computer Emergency Readiness Team of the need to patch a vulnerability in certain software versions used by other companies. We use the software called Apache Struts, which is an online portal. On March 9, 2017, we notified applicable personnel responsible for Apache Struts to upgrade their software. We required the patching of the vulnerability to occur within 48 hours of this notification. Apache Struts failed to patch this vulnerability. On March 15, 2017, we ran scans to identify any systems that were vulnerable to this Apache Struts issue. They showed nothing, but the vulnerability remained in Equifax web application as we've discovered. On May 13, 2017, was the first day attackers were able to access sensitive information, including credit cards, social security numbers, addresses, and birth dates in Equifax's data. We are unaware of this intrusion. From May 13th to July 30th, attackers continued to access personal information through this vulnerability in the Apache Struts server. Equifax security tools did not detect this breach. It wasn't until July 29th our security department found suspicious network traffic associated with the consumer dispute website. Equifax security department launched an investigation and blocked the suspicious traffic immediately. On July 30th, our Equifax security department took Apache Struts offline after observing additional network traffic. I will now pass this over to Tamara McAllister, our internal communications.
Thank you, and good evening. Our HR department and crisis management team will be sending out emails to all managers to have an emergency meeting to ensure production is moving forward. Management will be responsible in informing all employees they supervise of the minutes of the meeting. If there is a situation where internal communication is unavailable, please refer to any personnel in management, HR, or our communication team. We will have IT working on the problem immediately. We also have an appointed staff member that will handle all interviews with press and our social media platforms. Any other outlets that offer information is dishonest and is not run by our company. Right now, I'll be passing it over to Alyssa Appel.
Good evening. Now that my colleagues have run us through the history and the full depth of this breach, I'd like to talk to you all about solutions to the situation. So we've learned from this breach through internal investigation, reports from cybersecurity firms, and the FBI investigation that was conducted. We will continue to update our cybersecurity procedures, early detection, and softwares. We have call centers available for our consumers 24/7 and compensation packages available as well. At this time, we would like to ensure all consumers, stakeholders, and investors that we are doing everything in our power to avoid a breach of this magnitude in the future. We realize that over 147 million innocent consumers have been affected by our mistake. Therefore, we are dedicating a large sum of funds to rectifying this crisis. So far, we've spent $164 million to repair our security and update our technology. We plan to spend $275 million more on furthering our security upgrades and, more importantly, providing free identity theft coverage to our customers who have been directly affected by this breach. We've also partnered with government agencies conducting investigations into the breach and are cooperating fully to ensure this never happens again. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for questions.